Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. This is part 2 of sourdough cinnamon raisin English muffins. Now, I checked my cinnamon and I don't have enough cinnamon, so I am going to use apple spice in place of it. And you use apple spice in apple pie, and this is similar to it, so I smelled it and I should get away with it. You're going to have to grease some cookie sheets and sprinkle cornmeal on them. Most people will sprinkle white so you can't see the cornmeal. I personally don't care. I'll use yellow. You know, I saw a crazy video of a woman about my age. She's hunched over, she's wrinkled up, and she is screaming that women's rights are going backwards. They aren't going backwards. She seemed to have been part of the Jane Fonda movement, and now she's screaming. She doesn't understand that the suffrage gave us our freedoms, which is quite interesting. The suffrage did it. They sat there and women had no control over who they married because the father would decide that. They couldn't vote. They couldn't have a job. They had no rights, really. Basically, they were property. The suffrage said, no, we are people. And because of the suffrage movement, which was long before this other one, we had the right to decide after suffrage movement. Now, this is our rights that we got from them. We had the right to marry whom we wanted. And if we didn't want to marry, we had a right not to marry. And if we wished to work, we had that right. We had all these rights. And we had the right to vote. So we got a lot out of the suffrage movement. We were allowed to get loans. We were allowed to own property. We were allowed all these things. Jane Fonda came around and said, burn the bras, you know, women's liberation. What liberation? I don't know. The kind of liberation they've had is women have become whores. They've opened the door. Jane Fonda is you can be a whore, and that's what she did. That's what she really did. Oh, I gotta put cornmeal in this. But a lot of people don't know. They try to bury the suffrage movement. But that was the one where we weren't property anymore, and we had control over our lives. And when I heard with them screaming, and when they asked her, what do you mean go back? What rights? She said, we're not going back. And she couldn't even answer what it was about. Unless you know your true history, you have no idea. But that's what the suffrage movement was about. Long before Jane Fonda and all this other crap that's been going on. So I've had a right to vote. I remember when I was asked if I was going to vote, and I was 20-something, and I told them I don't think I'm mature enough to make a decision for the government, because I knew that I was still slightly rebellious, which we all go through. It's those hormones that kick in. And I wouldn't vote. I didn't even vote until I was 30. I wanted to make sure I was mature enough to make a good decision on my government. I didn't want to send us wayward. And people say, and I've had young people come up to me, young women who said, you've made my life miserable. I want to be married. And I said, excuse me, I was against that movement long time. I did not support Jane Fonda and that movement, and I don't support the new women's movements either. I said, because they're just crying over nothing. If they knew their history, they would have known that we've had our rights over about 150 years. No, wait a minute. about 100, about 125, 130 years, somewhere around that time. I don't know why they're all up in arms. See, I have enough common sense to know that I cannot do what a man does. I can sit there and do a lot, but I know I am not strong enough to do what a man does. I don't need somebody to tell me you're going to do a man's job. I can't. I already know I can't. I can help. I can do the lighter work, but I can't do the heavy work that he does. I'm not stupid. 2 teaspoons of salt. Now you can see that my sourdough has risen. It has a dry top on it. I'm not going to take it off. I'm just going to stir it back in. Let's see, what do I need? Hold on, I've got to get it all together. We got the water. I've got to add a cup of milk to this. And we need some butter. So a lot of people, please check your history out. We made sure that our sons were well-rounded in their history. We had them read about the American Indians, about the Black history, and we also gave them the European history. So they are well-rounded, knowing that all of us add up to this country. Let me get a pot. So I really don't think people are getting the true history, and because you're not getting the true history, you don't understand. Like they say, we are a democracy. No, we're not. We're a constitutional republic. We need 3 tablespoons of butter melted. 1, 2, 3. It's always important to know your history. Has there been ugliness? Sure there has. No one race has not been enslaved. You would think from that we would learn, well, we know what it's like, so let's not do it to another race. Do we learn? No, we're stupid. Everybody wants to be better than somebody else. You can't. We're all at different growths. I'll put this over here. Get my stove lit to melt the butter. Boy, I'm getting better at this again. So when you learn all of that, you put things in perspective. All right, since I don't have cinnamon, since it's on my shopping list, I am going to put 2 teaspoons of apple spice. This should go just be delicious. This should work. Okay, we got that and that. And we need a cup of milk. You didn't tell me nobody took out. Okay. sourdough so far has been the best English muffin recipe, and I've got a lot of them. I've got some more I'm going to try, but so far this one is my favorite. I put everything in except for the butter. Okay, let's see. Doing the butter, we got the salt, we got the milk. Yeah, the last thing to do is the, let's see, I put 1.5, I've got 2.5. All right. So we're done with this. Just waiting for the butter at this point. We're going to put the raisins in here. It's going to be a cup of raisins in here too. I'm just getting some things started. You've seen everything I've put everything in here except the butter so far and the raisins. See, the beautiful thing about making your own is that you don't have to sit there and tolerate their skimping on what you want in your resin stuff. All right, that's hot enough. That's going to finish melting. I noticed through time how they skimp on everything. First you get it, and then after that, they sit there and start cutting back once they get you addicted. And they have found out that stores put things in it to make you addicted to it, so you'll come back and buy theirs all the time. And then it sounds like it's a really good product, when actually they're fooling you and doing something else. They spend a lot of money on how to make you addicted to their food. And I think it's the chemicals they put into it. It's like an addict. You can't get off. These chemicals they're putting in do that, and they can cover them up. The government doesn't know what they're doing. All right, now we've added everything but the flour in here. Another 1 cup. If you have a heavy-duty mixer, you can use your mixer to mix it, but you're still going to have to need some. Now, as for the sourdoughs, I do not know if they go into machines. I did do a read up, but they said what kind of machines you have to have if you're going to use sourdough, because sourdough acts differently. Now, I could not find fillet of sole. All right, so I've got another fish, and I'm going to make that lemon blueberry vinaigrette, because they say this fish has got to be served with fruit. And I said, well, dang, because it's a Hawaiian fish, I said it should work quite well. So we're going to try that today and see how that vinaigrette goes on it. I think I'll keep the fish pretty simple so that vinaigrette flavor comes out. See, I got 2, 4. This will be 5. I might have to get some more flour. So see, my sons were talking about what's been going on in the world, and I told them there'll come a time, and I think it's happening in my short lifetime, it's really happening. First I saw the daughters separate from family, daughters against mothers, mothers against daughters, father against sons, sons against father, and now it looks like it's coming back together. It's actually in the last book. I think it's in the last chapter of the Old Testament that talks about that. I think I'm actually watching it happen. Men want to be men to do what men do. Women have to sit there and be proud of being women and quit trying to be like a man, because you're not. You're not. Well, the last part of this is kneading before we cut these out. We've got the cookie sheets going, and then we'll just let it rise. We will be baking these. They smell so good under my nose right now because I can smell all the seasoning. I've got to work all this flour in. And let's see, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this should be just about it, I think. Let's see, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got, yeah, I'm just about at the end of this. Takes about 6 to 6.5 cups of flour. If you're watching the videos, you can count as I pull them out. I usually don't use a 1 cup measure, I use a 1/2 cup measure. Because it's easier to get into the containers. So today, when I'm done with this, we're going to be making a vinaigrette. That lemon blueberry vinaigrette to go over the fish that I bought. And it should be defrosted by now. When my mother used to get mad, she would make bread. Man, could she make it light texture bread, because she was so angry she beat it like crazy. We didn't have heavy duty mixers for the home, so we had to do it by hand. Now, I don't think I have made 100% whole wheat English muffin yet. I might try that next. Though this sourdough starter will definitely be white flour because that's my culture. I thought about making a whole wheat one, and I said, dang, Sandy, you got 3 cultures going already. Let me finish this up and I'll be back. Okay, we have to pat this out, or you can roll it out to a 1/2 inch. Now they say a 4-inch cutter, but I only have 3 1/4 inch, so I'm going to use 3 1/4 inch. But if you have a 4-inch cutter, you can cut it out to that. Excuse me. As fast as I flatten it out, it comes back up. Oh well. I'll have some big ones. I'm going to take all this dough up again, knead it, and we're going to roll it back out again. I'll tilt you a little more. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. Somewhere around 12. I'd say 13 to 15 if you're using a 3 1/4. If you're using something larger, you're going to get less. Just giving you a general idea. Okay, now what we're going to have to let them do is rise. There's nothing more to do until I get to that point. So I'll see you then. Okay, set your oven to 450. what you're going to do is literally bake them 8 minutes. Take them out, turn them over, and bake them another 8 minutes. Then move them onto a rack to cool. That's it. That's all that's left to do. Pulling out my big rack for this. Okay, so I have to wait till my oven gets up to 450. Okay, we're going to put them in the oven. You can see they have doubled, and we're going to let them cook 8 minutes. And at 8 minutes we'll take it. I'll leave my little clock these. 8, 16. I'll see you in 8 minutes. Okay, it's 8 minutes. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. They've only halfway cooked, but look how much they've risen already. Turn them over gently. Now you put them back in the oven and bake them another 8 minutes. And we'll see how they come out. Okay, we're going to take them out. Okay, here they are. And you can see they are huge. I'm going to move them over to the rack to cool. Let's see how big they are. So as you can see, they work very, very nicely. And they're very lightweight. But we can't even try them till they cool down. So I won't be able to test them like you can biscuits or muffins, because these are going to be sitting for a couple of hours before we can have them. So anyway, what I said was going to be cinnamon raisin sourdough English muffins. Because I didn't have enough cinnamon, we used apple spice in place of it, and we hope it works. So anyway, listen, you take care and have a great day.